All right, so welcome to ChatCop. Today we have Hirsch, Patel,
AnJUL, Shingal,
and Ankit. That's me. So we have two topics we're going to talk about, two sport topics we're going to talk about today, which will be NBA and combat sports, specifically boxing, right? So first, let's dive into boxing. Ankit.
Yeah, so I want to talk about what everyone's talking about, which is Mayweather McGregor, and just some of the things that I think are going to go into this fight. So pretty much all bettors or anyone who makes bets money on these sports, anyone who knows a little bit about both, most people are going for Mayweather to win the fight. And I also believe that Mayweather's going to win this fight, but I wanted to talk about what I believe the keys for success for McGregor are going to be from a boxing perspective, because once again, Conor McGregor is not he's not a boxer. He's an MMA guy. So first, there's 5 main points that I want to make about this, and I'm going to go through them and just kind of explain what I mean by each of them. So first, when they're in the ring together, Conor McGregor, he needs to start early. Now, what I mean by that is Conor McGregor needs to make sure that he only has like 4 rounds. Or at least what I believe, he only has like 4 rounds to actually win this fight. He has to knock out Mayweather early on, because the more time you give Mayweather in the fight, it's the more time he's going to have to figure you out, figure your speed out, your positioning. He's just going to outbox you. He's the master of boxing. So
Isn't Conor McGregor more of an aggressive type fighter? So
he's not. This is a big misconception that people have about Conor McGregor. He is a lot bigger than Floyd and all of that, but he's also a counterpuncher himself. If you look at his fights in the MMA,
okay.
He's not a huge pressure fighter. Take a look at his fights with Nate Diaz. I know, I understand those fights were at 170 pounds, but Nate Diaz was the one walking McGregor down throughout most of the fight. Look at his. He was literally running around the octagon against Nate Diaz in the second time they fought each other. So he's not a pressure fighter, and pressure fighters are historically what have given Floyd Mayweather more problems.
Okay.
So the whole idea that McGregor's so much bigger, he's gonna bully Mayweather. These are things he's going to have to do, but it's not things that he's shown over his career in the MMA.
All right. So start off punching.
He needs to start off quick. He has what I believe 4 rounds in order to knock out Floyd. I think after
4 rounds in the beginning.
The first 4 rounds. After that, I think Floyd
usually kind of starts slow, right? Like he always tries to figure out his opponent first.
Yeah. So like Floyd Mayweather's always said, and whether this is true or not, I don't know, but he always says he never watches any tape of his fighters. He goes in there blind, and then he figures out the puzzle within the ring. I kind of believe it.
Seriously?
I kind of believe it. I think he's that cocky. I think he's that much of an asshole who's like, yeah, I don't even need to watch any film on you. I'm going to step in there, and I'm going to just outbox you based on my talent alone, my skill alone, my dedication and hard work alone. I really do believe that. So yeah, I believe he has 4 rounds. So he needs to just get in there and just punch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He just needs to. This goes into my second point, which I'm gonna say, swing baby swing, because you have to throw volume at Floyd Mayweather. If you're going to try to outbox him when you're an MMA fighter, it's just not going to work out. You just don't have the time. You, being Conor McGregor, just doesn't have the time to learn just the positioning of boxing.
But you risk the fact of outboxing yourself, like tiring out, just because you're saying volume.
Yeah, but I believe, if I was his trainer, if I was his coach, I would tell him, go for volume early on. Because let's be honest, later on in the fight, you're not gonna last.
Wow. Okay.
Floyd Mayweather, and I understand he's going to be 40, maybe 41 at the time of the fight. You're just not going to survive in there. Everyone also says that Floyd Mayweather has problems with southpaws, and Conor McGregor is a southpaw. Floyd just beat the best southpaw of the last like 15 years in Manny Pacquiao. So just this whole notion of like, oh yeah, Floyd struggles with this, he doesn't do well with that. Point to actual evidence. It hasn't really happened. The hardest person who's hit Floyd Mayweather, to my knowledge, is Shane Mosley in the second round of Floyd's 41st fight. He's not a southpaw fighter, and he came in with 2 monstrous right hands in the second round. That, if you've seen the fight, and I think you should just watch that round. It was a great fight. Yeah, it was a great fight, and he caught him clean with 2 punches. Conventional, not a southpaw. So yeah. So I just think that Conor needs to swing as much as possible in the first 4 rounds, because Floyd, as you pointed out, he's a slow starter, and that's going to be your best opportunity to catch him with something. Thirdly, Conor needs to spar as much as possible. And there's been a lot of rumors going around. I'm not sure if you guys have seen this. That Conor McGregor was knocked out in sparring. There's been rumors about that.
By an amateur, right?
I'm not sure by who. I'm not sure by who. This isn't very, we don't know much more.
Too much speculation.
It's a lot of speculation, but that's what's so great about boxing, isn't it? Is that you never know until the night. You know what I mean? You never know. It's the Super Bowl every fight. You know what I mean? It's like, it's all this build up, and then
you see who he's sparring with now?
Paulie Malignaggi.
Yeah.
So Paulie Malignaggi is he's a 2-time ex-champ. He's just retired. One of the best boxing minds in the sport. They call him the Magic Man. He had no power, but because of that, his just positioning and his ring IQ was so high that he only had maybe 15 knockouts in his career, maybe less than that. He's not a big puncher, but his mind works at such a speed that he was able to get to become champ twice.
Did you see the quote he had about?
Do you remember what it was?
Yeah, I just pulled it up.
Yeah.
The mechanism of how he gets there may look to the naked eye. I don't know about this, but there's a method to his madness. So he's talking about McGregor.
Yeah.
So that is that referring to his? I don't know. I don't want to say uncoordination, but unorthodox style.
It actually is one of my points as well, that he needs to be unconventional. You're not going to beat Floyd boxing, especially as an MMA fighter, right? So you have to be as, sometimes the hardest thing in sports is to play to someone who's below your skill level. Like, I know, I play tennis, for example, right? The hardest thing for me to do is to generate speed when the other guy keeps hitting lob shots over the net. I just don't know how to do it. Yeah. I just don't. I'm not a Floyd Mayweather of tennis or anything like that, But sometimes the hardest thing is to, especially in combat sports, when someone's in there and he's really conventional, you know what he's going to do. If he's trained really well, you kind of know what he's going to do. And a lot of boxers and even UFC fighters have talked about this when they're in sparring sessions. Sometimes the guy who has no idea what he's doing, but he's coming in there throwing at weird angles and stuff, sometimes he's the hardest person to spar against or to fight, because it's just so random. So
that could be a potential advantage.
It definitely it could be an advantage. It could also make him look like a fool out there, Yeah. But I think
that's his best bet. Almost.
That's his best bet is to be like this spazzy little Irishman, running around, right? So hopefully his unconventionalness will help him a little bit. He also needs to make the fight rough, because Floyd Mayweather fought Marcos Maidana 2 times, and Maidana was a pressure fighter. He was bigger than Floyd, much like how Conor McGregor is bigger than Floyd. I don't know if you guys saw the press conferences, but Conor he's good. Big.
Yeah,
he's
bigger.
Yeah. Has he bulked up, or is he just?
Plus he's already taller. He's got the longer arms.
He has longer reach. Yeah.
All right.
So, similarly to how Andre Ward fought Kovalev, and he made it a rough fight. You know what I mean? Especially in the first time around. Even in the second one with the potential low blows. We won't get there, but maybe we will. Who knows? But yeah, even in the first fight, round 6 is when Ward really started to rough up Kovalev, and that's when the fight turned around. So Conor needs to do a similar thing to Floyd, and he needs to rough him up, but he can't stay on the inside because inside boxing is one of the hardest things to learn, and it's one of the hardest things to succeed at and to master, and
especially in 7-month time frame.
Not even, and I know that UFC is more like boxing, than most other, a lot of people on TV or whatever will be like, it's like if you're a water polo player and then you come in to a boxing ring. This isn't like that because it's more like a tennis player playing against a ping pong master.
Got it.
You know what I mean? Like tennis players have a lot of more, I guess, tricks, tools they can use, whereas ping pong, it's a smaller, maybe it's a smaller skill set that's needed, but it's harder to master. I don't know if this is true or not, but it's more like that sort of analogy or that metaphor, right? But so what I'm saying is that Conor needs to, hold him, push him around, make it uncomfortable for Floyd without staying on the inside too much and letting Floyd, get some nice uppercuts in, shots to the body. Again, this is more for strategies later on in the fight. I think the first 4 rounds, he needs to be at distance and just throwing that mean left hand he has as much as possible. And my last point as far as, training camp for Conor is that he just needs to spar like crazy. He needs to be in there, and, being in there with Paulie Malignaggi would be really big for that. Especially going back to Paulie, he looked a little beat up. I don't know if you saw the photo or the video.
Really?
I think Fight Hub or Fight Hype might have posted a video of it. But Paulie Malignaggi looked a little beat up, man. Like, I don't know. It kind of looked like he had a pink eye a little bit. Or sorry, not a pink eye. Sorry, he had a black eye.
I can see.
You can see it, right? I think it was his left eye.
Yeah. His left, yeah.
Yeah, it's his left eye. It looks like he might, and. To be fair to Paulie, he's retired. He got really out of shape. He looks chubby.
Okay.
Like, he looks chubby. Like, he's a 147-pound fighter, and he doesn't. Even in the video of him talking to whoever it was the day after, sparring Conor McGregor, he looks a little big. But he looks a little, especially in the Instagram photos. Conor's really funny, man. On his Instagram, there's pictures of him.
They say I have no hands.
With his hands behind his back like Roy Jones. He's a funny guy. But I think, he did 8 rounds with Paulie Malignaggi. That must have been great work for Conor McGregor. Fighting is all about positioning, The spacing is so different in the UFC compared to boxing. Because in the UFC, you have to worry about elbows and leg kicks and just legs as limbs in general,
Yeah. Speaking of legs, I this is kind of off topic, but will there be a point where Conor McGregor actually throws a kick?
Dude, that was like the big speculation when this fight was being talked about. Like, what if he just kicks him?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there won't be, because in the contract itself, it's written that if Conor kicks, he'll have to he'll be sued, obviously, and he's signed saying I will not kick, so he'll lose the lawsuit. And he'll lose millions of dollars.
But at this point in the stage, it's
would
reflex,
millions
right?
matter to him? Because I'm thinking as soon as the ring starts, just throw a kick. Don't hit him. Throw a kick just to get in his head.
Yeah. Maybe put your foot up a little bit. You know what I mean? Maybe. Who knows? It might not matter. Honestly, from his wallet standpoint, maybe he'll be disqualified right away. I don't know if that was written into the contract. I don't think it'll be a kick. I really don't. There might be some elbows and some headbutts, but that happens in boxing.
That happens.
You know what I mean? There might be. That would be, and this is what's so great about this fight. It's more of a spectacle than it is an actual fight. It's an event. You know what I mean?
It's for entertainment.
Yeah, you're not going there to watch boxing. You're going in there to watch
2 people beat each other.
I wouldn't even say that.
You
watch, the SpongeBob SquarePants episode where they had fake fights and stuff.
That's
what it's going to be.
That's what this is. Yeah. No, it's going to be exciting for sure. But even going back to the positioning point, even where your hands are in the UFC, your hands are a lot more far out because you need to worry about leg kicks to the head, especially Conor's stance. If you see him in the you can't see me doing it right now. I'm doing it right now. But his hands are you can hit me to the face all you want, learning how to like bring your hands in and having such a smaller target.
You have to be a lot more compact in that.
You're a lot more compact in boxing compared to the UFC. So even that, like just small things like that, having to keep your hands up 36 minutes in that with 10-ounce gloves, it's more tiring. It's small things that hopefully Conor will be able to pick up a little bit from whoever he's sparring, whether it be Paulie Malignaggi or whoever else he brings into his camp. But that guy needs to learn the positioning, because fighting's all about its inches. You're inches outside of the other guy's range, right? In the UFC, you're a lot farther from each other because you have to worry about legs, like as I said before.
Now, when you're saying his working on his stance, let's just say he goes into the ring, how he usually does, right? Does that give Floyd Mayweather, because he's a defensive fighter, right? Floyd, yeah.
Especially at 41, he will be.
He's a defensive fighter, but he's not an idiot. If you're keeping your hands
keep
out,
your
he's
hands
just going to knock you straight in the face.
Right in the mouth,
That's what I'm trying to say. He'll come out swinging too, right? If at that point.
I don't know. It's really interesting to watch Floyd's fights progress over his career, and we need to remember this is 2 years since he's last been in the ring. Because he fought Andre Berto in 2015. So this, I think it might be about 18 months, 16 months. I don't know exactly, but it's a long time since he's been in the ring.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't underestimate his preparation, though.
I wouldn't.
Like that guy knows how to get ready for a fight.
Yeah. No, the smart money is on Floyd Money Mayweather. That's the smart fight for sure.
And it has been bet. For like the last 49 fights too.
Pretty much, pretty much. I'm not sure he's ever been an underdog after like Oscar De La Hoya, if he was even an underdog in that fight. My last point. This is the last thing I want to say about what I think Conor needs to do. He just needs to be Conor, and this kind of goes into our next topic about the press conferences. Conor is such a personality that I think he kind of got in Floyd's head a little bit in the press conferences. I think Floyd got into Conor's head a little bit as well.
They're both top of the world, like best of the world trash talkers.
Yeah, they're both personalities. I mean,
yeah. Oh, they are.
I'd say like even McGregor, he's louder than Mayweather.
He's definitely
Mayweather is kind of like the guy he knows he's a shit.
Yeah,
he knows no one can beat me, but like
that's interesting though, right?
Like
because I know no one can beat me, right? But Conor said something to him, or has the ability to say something to Floyd that no other opponent of Floyd has been able to say in his whole career. If this were a real fight, I would knock your head off the canvas. Pretty much saying, like, the only reason that, like, this is a fight is because it's just boxing. If this were a real man's fight, if this were the UFC, it's over. And I think that gets into Floyd's head a little bit, because Floyd has never fought in the UFC. He's never been made look silly like that. But I think everyone knows, if this were a UFC fight, 45 seconds maybe? Like, honestly? One leg kick, and then he like takes him down, like, arm bars him. You know what I mean? Like, that would be hilarious, right? But I think that gets into Floyd's head a little bit of, I know I'm the baddest man in boxing.
Yeah. But
I'm not the baddest man in this ring. Conor McGregor is actually the baddest man in this ring, right?
That is kind of a shell shock.
And that plays into a man's psyche, especially when you're told you're the greatest of the generation. Some people say TBE, the best ever. Floyd actually thinks that I'm the baddest man on this planet. Oh, but wait, I'm fighting this guy who could actually fuck me up a little bit. You know what I mean? So I think that will really play into Floyd's psyche a little bit. Did you guys see highlights of the press conferences or read
I've seen them walk in and stuff like that.
Who do you think won from like the highlights and stuff on ESPN and all that? Who do you think?
Okay, based on just looking at pictures, highlights, and stuff, I think McGregor won.
Yeah, McGregor. Yeah, I kind of feel the same way too.
I feel like day 1 McGregor won, day 2 Mayweather won.
Yeah, I think like the funniest thing to me was when Conor came in with like that mink, like he was not wearing a shirt. I don't
Just
know,
that
fur coat.
Yeah,
and, like,
I seen that one. He's just sitting there.
He was just
in the
sitting there,
stool.
and then Floyd comes out with $1 bill
Yeah.
and just throws them at him.
That was pretty funny.
That
That
was
was hilarious.
That was, I think, the big thing of the press conferences for me. But man, like, Conor McGregor, like, he's so self-assured. He went up, and there was a lot of foul play in the press conferences. I don't know if you heard about it.
Oh.
There's a lot of foul play.
Yeah.
Like, Mayweather knew that they were gonna do speeches and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Conor McGregor didn't know that. He thought he would just be coming on saying, "Hey, it's gonna be a great fight" or whatever. And then,
That's what he was coming on to say. Let's be humble.
yeah. No. I mean, a lot of people speculate that because he didn't come in prepared like that. But then Floyd was like, I'm gonna like, I don't know what he said, but I'm gonna beat this bitch up. He said bitch, and when he said that, Conor was like shocked by it, and that's when it became a
free
circus.
play.
Yeah.
Free for all.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
is that anything new? Like, I feel like people, like, every time there's a weigh in or like a press conference, like, people are always like doing stuff like that.
it's not, especially for Conor. I mean,
Yeah,
like,
I was.
like he was throwing like water bottles
Yeah.
at Nate Diaz. You know what I mean? If you remember that.
Yeah.
Like, it's surprising to think that he wasn't expecting that, but it's so crazy that Conor went up to. Speaking of the foul play, sorry, I want to go back to that. They turned Conor's mic off when Floyd was speaking. So Floyd was pretty much able to like go off and say everything he wanted, and Conor was trying to like rebuttal, but nobody could hear him. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of foul play that goes on.
Is it because like boxing is trying to like shut out the UFC or whatever, or try to get their fans?
Who knows? I think a lot of it has to do with how much money Floyd Mayweather has made Showtime, and this is a Showtime promotion event.
I see.
So they're trying to like
Promote.
Yeah, and maybe maybe
sucks.
Floyd had some hand in that. It's warfare, right?
Yeah,
it's part of warfare, right?
All's fair in love and
Yeah. But it was just refreshing to see Conor McGregor go up to, and I'm blanking on his name right now, but pretty much who's in charge of Showtime, walk up to him and say, "You're a weasel." Who does that to a major promotion or major company like HBO or Showtime? It just isn't done for all the shitty things that Showtime, HBO, whoever it may be does.
David Nevins?
Not David Nevins. No, I don't know. I'll recognize his face and then the name next to his face on Google if you ever get that. Hopefully you find it. But no, it's really interesting. I felt McGregor was winning, and then the longer it went, I think Mayweather was starting to come back. And
That may be what the fight is like.
yeah, that might be what the fight is like. It's just going to be interesting to see if there's a feel-out round in the first round of this fight.
Or it just goes
or if he's going to bull rush Mayweather. I really don't know.
Would you rather have him bull rush Mayweather? That's what you're trying to say, right?
I think that's what he has
For
to
McGregor,
do.
the best of McGregor.
McGregor, yeah.
See, but there's also the point that Floyd's 41. Maybe longevity isn't his strong suit anymore. Maybe he won't. I don't buy that. Like how Hirsch said,
I don't buy it.
He's such a perfectionist and athlete. He's so dedicated to this.
He's gonna continue what he's
and
doing.
even like when he before he agreed to the fight, you could always see Mayweather, and like I think he was still like exercising and stuff like that. He still looked really good.
Yeah.
Kept in shape.
Yeah,
like, it was.
He didn't do a Paulie Malignaggi like 2 months after his last fight. He stays in shape.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I mean, are you gonna buy the fight? Do you think the fight would be worth it? $100 is the price tag, which is actually, a lot of people were speculating 119, 120. This is coming in at the same price that Mayweather versus Pacquiao was at $100. And Mayweather always puts on pretty good promotions. Gervonta Tank Davis is on the undercard. He's another money team fighter. Kind of looks like mini Mike Tyson. So it could be a good card. And I maintained before the press conferences, if you buy this fight, you're a chump. You're a chump if you buy this, if you think it's going to be a good promotion, or it's going to be a good fight. But man,
after seeing what's going on,
the press conference,
that's going to be the most interesting part, right? Like the whole idea was that you're getting these two big mouths, two big personalities, and so that's I don't know, the press conference didn't really surprise me in any
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
So it was kind of like what I was expecting. So like I'm still like on the boat. If we have like one of your boxing parties again, yeah, I'm down to chip in $20. Anything more than that, I feel like I'm a chump.
Yeah. No,
I'm not paying $100 to watch SpongeBob SquarePants fighting episode. Like,
yeah.
No, I mean it's true. Because what most people have speculated is Floyd's gonna go in, win it, and come out
and walk out
Yeah.
untouched. $100 million richer.
Damn, $100 million.
Then he can pay off the IRS.
Yeah, I know, seriously.
Right? Yeah, no, it's definitely. I think. I still don't think it's worth the buy, because I think Hirsch is right. I think we've seen the best that this fight's going to offer, which was the press conferences, right?
Just them talking.
Yeah, and now we just get to enjoy all of the news and all of. Go ahead.
I don't want to the press conferences were entertaining.
Yeah,
It was everything. Like it was what I expected, but it was still entertaining.
Yeah.
Like those were it was nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pay
The fight
$99
itself
to see the
is-
press conference.
So, okay, this is actually an interesting question that I have for, I guess, these two. I'm the biggest boxing fan. These guys have gone into it a lot more. Do you think this fight is good for boxing from your perspective? Or is this good for the MMA? Is this bad for boxing? Could this be bad for boxing?
I think it's great for both.
Great for both.
Yeah.
Why do
I
you
would
say
agree.
that?
Because you're going to get viewership from both of them.
What
And,
if it's a dud again, like Mayweather
Pacquiao? I mean,
then
you still got people coming in and watching.
it depends on how short-sighted people decide to be.
Yeah.
Like if they're gonna be like, "Oh, Mayweather was running again," then it's gonna be like, "No, you need to shut up and learn the game."
Yeah, learn the game a little bit.
If they actually decide like, "Hey, I'm going to like be open to other perspectives and like open their eyes," and realize boxing is not easy.
It's not easy. No.
MMA is not easy.
No, not
you
at
know,
all.
like it's basically whoever gets to dictate the rules
Yeah.
wins the fight.
Yeah.
Then maybe you'll get interest from both of them.
Right.
But it really depends. Like I think the event itself will garner a lot of viewership, so which would be good.
Yeah.
In that case, long term I can't say. I'd say long term I'm leaning towards it would be good for both.
Yeah, I think it's. Go ahead.
I'm thinking about it in the perspective of the undercards. Who's fighting in the undercards?
The big one right now is Gervonta Tank Davis. There's talks for other big names coming on right now.
Okay.
But Floyd puts on good events typically. He promotes his fights well.
Yeah, I mean, if people do buy this and view the undercards, because those will be boxing matches.
Yeah.
Right? Those.
Yeah. I
Right?
mean, hopefully, yeah.
Right? Hopefully, yeah.
Who knows?
If he gets the big names out there, yes. So hopefully that could be enough to convince
It would have been
a few couple
Thousand.
fans.
Six people maybe.
Six people in the room.
yeah. No, it would have been kind of cool to have like a cross promotion where
You get UFC
Yeah,
fighters,
UFC
and that'd be
and
actually pretty
boxing.
cool.
That would have been perfect.
Yeah, that would've been pretty
that
cool.
would have been
Yeah.
perfect, but maybe logistically, how do you set up the ring
Yeah.
then, and how do you because
The
there's
venue
all-
would be hard. It's in Vegas, right?
It's in Vegas, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how you can set that up.
Yeah.
They have the money.
No,
Yeah.
but then you have to like if you want rings for both of them, you have to lose a
Dude,
lot of
two
seats.
seats.
And
Oh,
those seats are
that's true.
expensive.
That's
Seats are
true.
And then the
Yeah.
value of each seat goes down because you're not getting a good view of both of them.
both
That
of
is
them,
true.
It's
yeah.
like
I can't wait to see how much, like how people spent like over 6 figures on the NBA final tickets.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what the big price would be.
Has
for,
is boxing still king in that sense? Like,
price tickets?
I don't think
Yeah.
so.
Tickets.
I don't know.
because like I'm trying to think of like.
It
It's
might-
like the Mayweather Pacquiao fight. That's like the last thing I can think of that has the same traction as this.
Oh, yeah.
Those guys like everywhere. It was only celebrities.
Yeah.
It was only high paid athletes.
Yeah,
and stuff
yeah.
like that.
I think
So like, I don't know.
I don't know how much
I don't know
tickets
the
go for,
numbers, yeah.
especially at aftermarket sales. It's going to be interesting for sure. I think this could be bad for boxing if Mayweather loses.
Oh, that would be
Oh.
horrible for boxing.
If Mayweather loses,
That would be
Oh,
horrible
that's
for
it
true.
would be
boxing.
horrible for boxing because then Conor McGregor is literally king.
Yeah, apparently the Floyd Mayweather boxing and Conor McGregor,
Yeah.
their ringside tickets are as high as $100,000.
Yeah,
Um,
that's before.
That's before, yeah.
before being resold.
And the next
right?
one was the 2017 Cleveland versus Warriors
Yeah.
finals. and that was the most expensive one was 133,000.
133,000. So so from the get go, not even after market sales, is
Yeah.
100,000.
Yeah.
So I guess that's insane. That's
Huge.
insane.
Did they have any
Yeah.
like Super Bowl tickets on that? Because like the Super Bowl, I would say like the only place where people are going to fly to, or I guess
Yeah.
like because it has to be a nice city too.
Super
right?
Bowl.
Yeah, yeah.
Super Bowl
Expensive
comes
city.
in number 5 after the Grand Prix and
Wow.
and golf, the Masters.
No, that makes sense.
Really?
Golf's a
Yeah.
rich man's sport.
That's true.
Golf's a rich man's sport.
Yeah. But $100,000 to watch people play golf. That's impressive. Or not 100,000 then, right? It would be like what, 80,000? Does it say?
Let's see.
Because number
This
2
is
was
the
133,
Masters.
right?
The average was about 1,200.
Okay. Yeah.
1,000.
That is a steep
That's a
drop off.
steep
That's a
drop
huge
off.
drop off.
Yeah.
But third-party ticket prices were listed up to $300,000.
That makes sense.
For the
that-
Masters.
No, for the Super Bowl. The last.
Oh, the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
This
that
was
makes
the
sense.
Baltimore Ravens versus 49ers Super Bowl.
Well, okay.
That was in New Orleans.
Uh,
I
2013. Yeah, New Orleans.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, New Orleans.
And
When
that's
the
what.
lights shut off.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you think like maybe the halftime show, like
Plays into it a
Yeah.
lot. So was it Beyonce for that one?
I want to say yes, but I feel like she was in another one as well.
Man, that
Yeah,
was
she
so
was
long
in 2.
ago.
Oh yeah, was she the one in San Francisco as well?
Yeah,
Yeah,
she was.
she
So I think it was that one and the one in San
Yeah,
Francisco.
that's when Coldplay pretty much like, yeah, we're Coldplay. They walked up the stage and like Bruno Mars and Beyonce. Was it Bruno Mars and Beyonce?
Bruno
Yeah.
Mars and Beyonce.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
the Red Hot Chili Peppers get a cameo in that, or is that
No,
different?
that
That
was
was
with
different, I
with
think.
Bruno Mars's solo in because he had one Super Bowl to himself.
Oh, that's right.
Okay.
That was
yeah.
Is
That was so funny. Is like we're Coldplay, and then they pretty much like jumped in like, we're still here. You know, that was a great Super Bowl.
All right, yeah.
halftime show.
Back to the actual topic in hand.
Yeah, no, I only think this could be bad if Mayweather loses.
Yeah.
I think, I think people know what Mayweather is as a fighter now. Like there's a big drop off after Mayweather Pacquiao because people who never watched boxing never watched Mayweather box, and a lot of people who never watched boxing.
Yeah.
They came into that fight expecting
Dragon Ball Z.
Dragon Ball Z. Yes. They were expecting Dragon Ball Z, especially after Pacquiao style. And then once Floyd, imposed his will on the fight, they thought he was running, and they thought he was a little wuss, whatever.
Well, you gotta understand, Pacquiao had his
that
arm.
shoulder, there's no salt water.
I know.
There's no salt water in Vegas, So, but I think now people know who Mayweather as a fighter is. So they understand the fight more this time around, I think.
They should have more knowledge going
They'll
into
have
it.
more knowledge going into it because Mayweather Pacquiao was so publicized. People understand who Mayweather as a fighter is now.
Yeah.
So I think this won't be bad for boxing the more I think about it. I think it's great for the MMA. This is a huge win for the MMA in my opinion.
It's a no lose for them almost.
It's a no
Pretty
lose.
much, yeah.
It's a no lose for them. It's a big win for McGregor. Whether or not he goes back to fighting after this, they call it the Mayweather effect. After people fight Mayweather, they retire because they made so many millions of dollars
Off of his
off of
fights.
that one fight
Yeah.
that they fought against him.
Wait, how much did Pacquiao get versus Mayweather?
I think he was near like what 80 million or something like that. So
enough to fix his shoulder.
Enough to fix his shoulder. Yeah. Man, I can't believe that. But yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say about it. $99.99. I think I might host something for it now, just because. I'll be honest, like, I knew the smart thing is to not buy this fight, but
After seeing those.
oh man, yeah.
You just want to see it.
I just want to see it. I just want to see McGregor get beat up. I'll be honest. I just
Okay.
want to see McGregor get beat up. And I kind of want to see Mayweather in there one more time. So I might do something for it.
Do you think this will be his last fight?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. I really do. I think he just needs to fight for the IRS. I really...
Does he actually need it?
I
Like,
don't know.
I feel like he has so much money. Like,
Yeah.
I don't
But
know.
he also
like,
spends a lot.
Athletes,
It's
though.
so easy to lose it.
Yeah,
Not
seriously.
even athletes, dude. People in like, I don't know, finance,
Yeah.
Anyone.
tech industry. Anyone can lose it
Yeah.
really
Yeah,
easily.
yeah. I mean, I feel like he has a lot of outside businesses. He has that strip club now, Girl Collection in Las Vegas, that he keeps promoting. I mean, he has other businesses going on.
And he's promoting.
I would like to see.
other
He's
people.
a promoter.
He's a
so-
promoter, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to see his post like after the fight. Cha-ching,
Oh.
cha-ching. I want to thank my trainers. Cha-ching. I want to thank Powerade.
I
Cha-ching.
think he's gonna pull a Peyton Manning, where he's like, Papa John's, you know what I mean? After the Super Bowl when he did nothing. You know what I mean? Papa John's is up there. Let's not forget, Mayweather walked in with the Burger King guy
That is true.
Yeah.
That is
in his
true.
entourage for Mayweather Pacquiao. He's getting $100 million for this fight. I don't even know how much more he's gonna make off of silly promotions and stuff like that. I hope they bring the Burger King guy back. That was hilarious. So I guess that's pretty much all I have to say for Mayweather McGregor. I just want to talk about some more fights that are coming up in August, or not talk about them, just some fights that you guys should be looking out for before we get into basketball.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Go
so first, Vasily Lomachenko is fighting on August 5th. He's fighting someone named Miguel Mariaga. I don't know too much about his opponent. But Lomachenko, it's insane. This guy has like less than, 8-9 fights. He has 9 fights under his belt. And a lot of people think he's pound for pound champ over Andre Ward, which is crazy to me.
Whoa.
Yeah, I think it's just insane. So yeah, that's a fight to look out for on August 5th. Terrence Crawford is fighting Julius Ndongo on August 12th. And this is a big unification bout. This is for all the belts in the division, and that's a huge fight. It's a mega fight for sure. Maybe not a mega fight, but for like true boxing fans, that's a really big fight that I'm really excited for. And of course, Mayweather McGregor on August 26th. So if you're you don't know which fights to watch, those are my picks. SportsKop team's picks for which fights to look out for in
It's
August.
actually good because like people who need to get their feet wet for boxing, you just gave them 2 good fights.
Two
to
great
watch.
fights, yeah.
And then they'll kind of understand it, and then they'll get into the big event.
Yeah, on August 26th.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about it that way.
That's
That's
a lot
true.
of nice
That's-
fights for August.
2017
For 1 month?
For
For
one
one
month,
month,
yeah.
yeah.
2017 has been the best boxing year in the last 2 decades for sure. I think it'll go down as one of the top 10, maybe top 8 even boxing years in the
okay.
history of the sport. It's been that big for fights this year, so it's really exciting time. The second half of the year is looking just as good as the first half did. So if you weren't a boxing fan before and you have some free time, want to get into a new sport, right now is definitely the time to get into boxing.
Alright, that's it for our boxing segment for the show. Stay tuned for part 2 of our podcast looking at what's happening in the NBA today.